everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to another look at a shelf in the Dice Tower Library. Today we're taking a look at Shelf 10E. Now this is the final shelf on Rack 10, which is welcoming games for folks new to the hobby, although some of them work with gamers, and you'll see that on the shelf. First of all, we have Zoo Break, a very underrated game that a lot of people don't talk about or play. But it's a fun family-style cooperative game in which a bunch of animals are escaping a zoo and you have to stop them and put them back in. I really like it. Has cute pieces, a fun theme. Highly recommend it. Then Micropolis. So this is a Katala game. It's about, this one is not really thematic at all, even though it is about building an anthill. But it's fast, it's simple, and it's worth checking out. Then we have Traintopia. Traintopia kind of came and went. I honestly thought this would be a bigger game. It's a really simple game about collecting tiles, and you're building this little train or group of tracks in front of you. It has almost a Carcassonne style to it, but a lot of fun involved. Super Motherload. So this is basically Dig Dug, the board game. It's a deck building game, and this is another one. In fact, most of the games on this shelf are games that I would say a lot of people need to play these, and you probably haven't heard of them. You always hear the bigger games, and Super Motherload is just a fast, fun game it turns asymmetrical really quickly, and it's easy to play. Gingerbread House. This is from Phil Walker Harding. This is one of the last games, I think. Well, Lookout made it, and I think it was in conjunction with Mayfair. Maybe it was after they were done with Mayfair. But either way, some thick tiles as you build a house, trying to attract people to your house. Hey, That's My Fish has been done by many different companies. I happen to have the Mayfair one. This is a simple one where you are basically moving penguins around, splitting up an ice floe. It's very abstract, but it's a lot of fun. Celestia. Now, the Celestia from Quick Simple Fun Games, really entertaining game. A push your luck as you see how high you can fly the airship without people jumping off. If you have a group of people, 5 or 6 people, this one is very fun. Next to that is the Queen's Necklace. So the Queen's Necklace from Bruno Feduti is one of the first games from Days of Wonder that came out, although it didn't do tremendously well. And this is, in fact, the version you see here on the shelf is the CMON version of the game. But it is fun. You're just collecting cards, and the cards decrease in value in a really cool way. Next to that is the Brigade. This is a cooperative game about firefighting. Although it's like fantasy firefighting. But I like it a lot. It has a lot of cool ideas in it. You want to be the best firefighter. Next to that is Project L. Project L is a great game. In fact, this one's not as unknown as the other ones on the shelf in many ways, because Project L, plastic Tetris pieces as you put them in cards. A lot of people really enjoy this one every time I bring it out. And I think this one, even though it's very light, works really well for gamers. Then we got 2 games here I'm not a big fan of, but I am in the minority on that. We got Mr. Jack and Mr. Jack New York. Now, Mr. Jack is a 2-player deduction style game where one person is Mr. Jack and the other person is a detective trying to figure out who Mr. Jack is. There's a bunch of pieces on the board. Both players are moving the pieces. You have to figure them out. There's some slight differences. Some people say the New York version is better. Again, this is not my style, but I know a lot of people like it. Then we have Gizmos. Now, Gizmos you think would have been a bigger, more popular game, and it did well. It has these marbles that it's not the only marble game on the shelf, but the marbles come out and you're building a kind of your own, gizmo, your own machine. I think it's very fun and interesting. Foodies was CMON trying to make a game that would rival Space Base. It's a game where you roll a 10-sided die and you're building a food court. I love the theme. I think the game is okay, and that's partially because it pales aside other games in this genre. But a lot of people like it, although it didn't do as well as I thought. I haven't seen this one pulled off the shelf that much. Next to it, we have Potion Explosion. Now, there's 2 copies here, and I probably don't need 2 copies. For a while, this was a hot game. This was essentially an app brought into a game where marbles are rolling down and you're trying to find groups of marbles. I have 2 copies because one of these has the expansion in it. But, it still is a game that people do play. So I'm going to keep 1 copy, but I might get rid of one of the copies. And then finally, Survive, Escape from Atlantis. A great, rollicking, stab other people in the back game as there's an island sinking. You're trying to get your people off it to shore. and make other people's get eaten by the sharks and leviathans and things like that. Silly fun. They made a space version of it just a few years ago. That version isn't quite as good. This is the original classic version, or the reprint, I guess, of the original classic version from Stronghold Games, and I like it a lot. Now, when I look at this shelf, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because there's so many good games here. I don't even know. I mean, it's down to, I guess, Project L and Super Motherload. I guess I'm going to say Project L, but that's a hard call because I like most of the games here. What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been another shelf in the Dice Tower Library.